You know, Sonic the Hedgehog has crossed over with a lot of companies before. Some of them are completely normal and something you'd kind of expect, while others are kind of really obscure. Now of course, I'm not saying any of the obscure ones are bad, it's just something you wouldn't really expect. I mean, if I'm being totally honest, some of the obscure ones are actually some of my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog crossovers. However, today I'm going to present a crossover that isn't really exactly obscure, it's just one you would have never expected. Today I'm going to talk about the Sonic the Hedgehog Legend of Zelda crossover in Sonic Lost World. This was the Sonic the Hedgehog crossover that I never knew I needed. What's going on, guys? In today's video I'm going to be talking about basically just Sonic the Hedgehog and the Legend of Zelda. These are two of my favorite all-time franchises, and I think today would be really cool to just talk about the two of them and how a crossover could potentially work going forward. As always though, if you do end up liking this video, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Also turn on that post notifications bell, that way you never miss a video. But anyway, with all that out of the way, let's talk a bit about the Sonic and Zelda crossover in Sonic Lost World. Okay, so let me first start off with, this is really weird. But I guess it's kind of weird in a good way. Like, it's something I didn't expect happening, but it's something I really enjoy. So basically, it's just one level and you run around Hyrule just playing as Sonic the Hedgehog dressed up as Link. There's a ton of different Legend of Zelda references throughout this one level, and they all allude to different Zelda games. For example, one of the first enemies you'll encounter throughout the game is the Star Child from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Another enemy you might encounter is the Deku Scrub from Majora's Mask and also Ocarina of Time. This level also has fairies, and instead of saving animals, you're collecting rupees. Now, in all honesty, when I first heard of this announcement, I only had Sonic Lost World for the 3DS, and unfortunately this is not available on the 3DS. So it was for this reason alone that I decided to go out of my way and buy the Wii U version of Sonic Lost World. And that's not to say Sonic Lost World is a bad game, so I didn't want to buy it twice for two different consoles. It's just to say that I really do enjoy the Zelda series, and I also really love Sonic the Hedgehog, if you couldn't already tell. However, if I'm being totally honest, this is a crossover that probably never should have happened. I mean, if you just think about it, Sonic and Zelda are completely different in terms of gameplay. For the most part, Sonic the Hedgehog's games are always focused on going fast and finishing the level as fast as you possibly can, but Zelda doesn't even really have levels at all. Ever since the very beginning of the first Legend of Zelda, it's always took a heavy focus on exploring and just finding out all sorts of different things. It was never focused on how fast you could possibly beat something. So with that being said, Sonic Lost World's Legend of Zelda level is completely different from every single other level of Sonic Lost World. Now don't get me wrong, the level is still very linear and you only have one destination to go to, but even still, it's much more open than any other level in this game. With them turning away from the known Sonic the Hedgehog elements just to focus on the Legend of Zelda aspect, it leads me to believe that the developers really wanted to portray that this is what Sonic would look like had he been in Legend of Zelda. I mean, there's even a really cool feature that instead of losing rings when you get hit, you actually take damage and lose a piece of a heart. And of course, throughout the level, you can open up chests and unlock heart pieces. I believe there was a ton of thought put into this to make this the best possible Sonic and Zelda crossover. It doesn't go completely down the Legend of Zelda route where Sonic is just going to be basically just in the Legend of Zelda world. It's kind of like a mix of both of these things going on here. Now of course, Sonic Lost World in itself is a game that kind of deviates from what Sonic the Hedgehog is known for and what he's been doing for the past several years. Sonic the Hedgehog is a character founded on momentum, and in Lost World all you have to do is just press the run button to go faster. So with that being said, it's not quite perfectly Sonic the Hedgehog's usual formula. It's also kind of the reason why I'm not the biggest Sonic Lost World fan, and the same for many others. But either way, I continued to play Sonic Lost World because of this one level. I was in love with it, and it kind of made me just want more from the Sonic and Legend of Zelda crossover. So now I want to take the time to discuss a couple of ideas I have for a Sonic and Zelda crossover going forward. Firstly, I want to talk about an idea I had for a potential story. However, before I get started, I just want to reiterate the fact that this is my own story and it does not have to be anything like this at all. It's just something I came up with and I thought it'd be pretty cool to share. Okay, so we all know that Eggman is a huge fan of collecting all sorts of different power sources, that way he can finally take over the world. So I was thinking somewhere down the line, Eggman finds out about the huge power source of the Triforce. Now of course that would mean that Eggman has to literally collect all three of them, the Triforce of Power, Courage, and Wisdom, in order to grant the wish of being able to take over the world. Having known that, the first Triforce that Eggman tries to get is the Triforce of Wisdom, and that is the Triforce owned by Zelda. Zelda is successfully kidnapped by Eggman, and that kind of intrigues Ganondorf to making some sort of alliance with Eggman. Now, if you're a Zelda fan, you probably already know that Ganondorf doesn't really often work in a team or a pairing. So I was thinking later on down the line, Eggman would be betrayed by Ganondorf, and that would cause Ganondorf to reign supreme. Now, of course, with all of that happening, Sonic and Link would work together to take down Ganondorf and Eggman once and for all. Now, you might be wondering, how does someone like Eggman even end up in the world of Hyrule anyway? And to be honest, I'm really not sure. I mean, with Eggman being really smart as it is anyway, he can always just travel to that world using some type of portal or something. But to be honest, if this is a crossover, it doesn't really have to be explained how it happened all that much. I mean, we don't know how Mario and Sonic both ended up playing together in the Olympics, or how Sonic ended up at Gar's Hero and Supply bodega. So personally, I believe that this kind of thing can definitely go unexplained. However, there is something I do believe deserves much explanation, and that is the gameplay formula. Now, this part is really tricky because Sonic and Zelda are two completely different gameplay styles. Sonic the Hedgehog is an action platforming series, while Legend of Zelda is an action adventure series. To simplify it even further, Legend of Zelda is an open world series, while Sonic the Hedgehog is not. So in terms of gameplay, you really have to choose one or the other because there really is no in between. So for my first idea, the game could be comprised of two completely different gameplay styles. The levels where you play as Link focus more so on exploring dungeons and unlocking all sorts of new weapons and abilities. It'll basically be like the Link we've seen in the games like Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time, and of course many other Zelda games. Now for the Sonic levels, this is where it gets pretty tricky. Firstly, it could be boost levels where as though you're just going as fast as you possibly can through the world of Hyrule. I imagine it being somewhat similar to the likes of Sonic Unleashed. However, the problem with this idea is you're spending way too much time playing as Link and not enough as Sonic. With Link, you're playing an actual full-on dungeon, which can actually take a lot of time, and for Sonic, you're just doing a boost level, which can take a max of maybe 5 or 6 minutes. But then there is my other idea, and I think this one seems much more optimal in comparison for both series. So I was thinking that Sonic the Hedgehog's levels would not actually be focused on him going all too fast. I was thinking that the main component of these levels could be similar to the likes of Sonic Unleashed night stages, where you're playing as Sonic and just basically beating up enemies as you go through the level. Now, of course, I'm not saying they would be Werehog levels, I'm saying they would be modern Sonic levels where you use all sorts of different Sonic moves and abilities to take down each and every single enemy. In this fashion, you're still playing as Sonic the Hedgehog while exploring the world of Hyrule. In a way, it would be kind of similar to Sonic Lost World's Legend of Zelda level. However, in this instance, I think it would be much more focused on combat and also speed. But of course, to avoid deviating from Sonic's gameplay style entirely, I was thinking that towards the end of the level, or at the end, Sonic would have some sort of boost section where he'd be trying to get out the dungeon as fast as he possibly can. At the end of basically every dungeon in The Legend of Zelda, there's always some sort of boss battle, and for Sonic, I was thinking that instead of having a boss, he would just be trying to run away from the exploding dungeon. Now that's just my first and probably my favorite idea for a Legend of Zelda and Sonic crossover, but I do have two other ideas that personally sound a little bit less interesting. For my second idea, they can always do some sort of Hyrule Warriors type of game. Seeing as though it's already been done twice with the Legend of Zelda series, it's really not that hard of an idea to make it done with Sonic and Zelda at the same time. But aside from that, that's really all I had to say about this kind of idea. It's pretty generic and also very easy to do, so there's really not much to be said about it. For my third and final idea for this crossover, I was thinking that both the Sonic and Legend of Zelda series could combine and do some type of Lego-styled gameplay. Now, I don't mean that both of these series would be made out of Legos and it'd be like a Lego game, I'm just saying that the gameplay style would be pretty similar. We've already seen how fast Sonic can go in Lego Dimensions, and it still enables a second player to be playing on the screen. So with that being said, if Sonic were to go at this pace in some type of Legend of Zelda crossover, I think it would definitely work. I mean, I would even say it works well enough for a multiplayer opportunity. One player could be playing as Link and the other could be playing as Sonic or any of those characters in either series. The one problem I have with this idea and all of my other ideas is that it's really hard to do this kind of crossover because you're gonna betray one of the gameplay formulas that these characters are built up on. The one thing that should never go forgotten when making a Sonic game is making Sonic fast, and to get rid of his speed and compromising his character would basically just mean you're not really playing a Sonic game anymore. In short, it was really hard coming up with a couple of ideas for this crossover, and that's why this is the crossover I just didn't know I needed. I never even really thought about Sonic and Link crossing paths before this crossover was announced because they were just characters who just really, I thought at the time, didn't work together. But I guess seeing this crossover dangle before my eyes with all of its glory made me realize that I wanted this crossover more than ever before. And that's why this is the one Sonic crossover I didn't know I ever needed. What's going on, guys? Thank you all so much for sticking around to the end of the video. But now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Legend of Zelda series? Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is definitely one of my favorite series and franchises of all time, and honestly I would love to talk about it more and more on this channel. If that is something you would in fact be interested in, let me know in the comment section down below. But anyway, if you did end up liking this video, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Also turn on that post notifications bell, that way you never miss a video. And honestly, if you do all that stuff, it really helps me and my channel out a ton. One last thing before I go here is, I want to take the time to shout out to my amazing channel members. Thank you all so much for your relentless support on my channel. It really helps me out a lot, and honestly these donations that you guys continue to give me help me make this channel and the content the best that it can possibly be. In truth, I don't even know where I would be right now without motivators like you guys. If you want to become a member of my channel and unlock access to all kinds of exclusive perks like seeing videos early and also a secret Discord server, there will be a link in the description down below. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and this is Sonicsta signing out. Have a blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?